Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to take a look at the full release version of Tower Wizard. This is the incremental that I showed the demo of not terribly long ago from the guy that made Magic Archery. So, full game is released now. How does it feel compared to the demo? Because I really enjoyed the demo. I actually think that it's better now. He's seemingly rebalanced everything to be a little bit more flowy. I would imagine it's because there's quite a few more phases to the game than there was in the demo. So he sped up the part of the game that was in the demo. I would put money down that part of the reason why the demo sections were so slow was just to give people doing the demo a little bit more to do. I could be wrong. That could have just been earlier balancing that he tweaked for the final release, or she. I shouldn't really say he. I really have no idea what the person is that made it. Well, they've produced a really fun incremental game. This is really enjoyable. The rate of progress is actually really quick. If you look at what's going on screen, you'll see I'm making really fast early game progress. And I've not sped this up at all. Like, this is just how the game starts out. Now, I'll go ahead and give you a small tip that my first full run all the way to the very end of the game took about 38 hours, but that's also from having let it play overnight one night. I just left it in the background because it's a very low demand game. It's not very taxing at all. So whenever I was done for the evening, I just left it pulled up, turned the sound off on my PC, and went to bed and let it build up resources overnight. So it's not like that's a really representative of how long it would take to do it. I would say if you sat down and did all of this in one session, a couple hours is a really easy time frame to beat it in. I don't think you're going to beat it on your first go around in under an hour, which you can do with Magic Archery. Like Magic Archery, you can beat pretty quickly. Once you get this one down, I would say you could. Now, one thing that I was doing that I feel like if you wanted to be faster on a reset, which I actually am going to reset it to play through again, but one thing I think you could probably do is be a little bit more liberal with prestiging than what I am. You'll see I do end up prestiging here in just a moment. As a matter of fact, let's just go ahead and cut to that. So skipping ahead a little ways, what you'll see as soon as this prestige point finishes, I go ahead and prestige and invest my first couple talent points. So the left-hand side are things that you just passively get by having earned however many points are at each threshold. The right-hand side are the things that you have to invest in. Now you see a couple of those already have points invested in them. To be honest with you, I'm not 100% certain whether those were points that carried over from the demo and it just happened to pick up my demo save, or whether those are points that it starts you with by default. I'm going to find out here soon because I'm going to actually do a full hard reset in the game. Yeah, so I'm definitely just stupid, and after resetting just now, realized that, in fact, my demo save did carry over. So the game wasn't rebalanced to be faster, it was just, that was the big benefit for actually using my talents. I'm just going to leave the silly stuff in that I said earlier, with a little note at the beginning pointing out that I'm done. But yeah, so the talent points actually do help significantly accelerate things. Later on, I go for a decent stretch of time without resetting and gaining that next level of talents. If you get to looking at the passive ones that stick around, what you'll see is they let you start with certain buildings already constructed. So they act almost like save points for your progress. So there's almost no point in pushing yourself too many points beyond whatever those thresholds are. So if you see your total talent points are going to end up hitting 13 points with where I have it at right now, then the smart thing to do would be just go ahead and pop a prestige, put your stuff in, and it won't take but a second to get back to wherever you were at. Like you'll see right here, after having invested the talents that I had, I'm already building up resources significantly faster because I have a ton of the wizards already in place. I'm just kind of looking around and seeing what options are actually available at the moment. Just looking through the menus. Limited settings. I'll go through and demonstrate the different backgrounds. Honestly, most of these mess with my vision, other than just sticking with the Twilight one. But I was also dealing with a bit of a headache when I was recording this. So, take that for what you will. It is nice seeing that there is an inverted one, which should help anyone that actually has color blindness issues. In case you guys don't know, inverted color settings tend to help with color blindness. I'm not personally colorblind. My father was. It actually runs through my dad's side of the family pretty thoroughly. So, yay for the fact that it's an alternating generations trait. Anyway, back into the game, hammering out traits and whatnot. The fun thing about this one is every time you prestige, if you're doing it correctly, it really doesn't feel like it takes you long to get back to where you were. You know, a lot of games when you prestige, it takes forever to climb back to your previous progress point. Not really that bad with this. Honestly, thinking of another game, probably the most popular one where you prestige, which is Call of Duty. One of the reasons why I tend to hate doing prestige in modern Call of Duties is because there's so many parts that get relocked, or at least used to be. I haven't touched one thoroughly enough in the last couple of years to know if it's still the same, but last time I played, you would get so many tokens per prestige that you could use to save stuff, and then everything else locked back up. Hated that. Sucked. It sucked having to reopen your stuff. It'd be nice if those tokens actually saved an entire loadout rather than just an item or two. Anyway, different game, different category. Significantly worse game in my opinion. Yeah, you're not going to get as much playtime out of Tower Wizard as you will out of Call of Duty, but Tower Wizard's, I think it was $3, and it's on somewhat of a sale right now because it just released. I think the sale may run for another couple days, but I know it wasn't running for very long. But honestly, this is just an extension of the demo. So if you want to see what it's like, download the demo, play it a little bit, and let's jump ahead and see what it looks like when you get a little bit closer to end game. Oh, and a bit of a warning, if you don't want to see what the end game looks like, you may want to go ahead and stop the video, because the clip I'm going to jump to takes place at the very end of the game, and then I show a few more things. So here it goes. Alright. So this is what the very last section looks like. As a matter of fact, that's actually me breaking through the final thing. So you'll get to see here in just a moment the ending screen and actually show you what my final time was. But I'll continue playing on a little bit. So 39 hours, 29 minutes, and 8 seconds. Yet again, I slept during a good chunk of those. Those were not actually all active played. Active time was maybe 10 hours. So immediately go back in, prestige, pump some points in, and at this point I'm just kind of playing around, seeing exactly how high I can push the game. One thing I can say as a bit of a criticism is I wish he had put a few more, or they had put a few more technical achievements in, like for maxing out the talent tree or maxing out the Ruin Forge, or a couple of the little things like that. Getting the achievements are not hard. If you play all the way through to the end at least once, you'll probably pick all of them up. I could see this being a really good game for speed runs, because there are a few ways to optimize your strategy. Like whenever you hover over a resource, it accelerates how much of that resource is produced. So, I don't know. This could be a fun game. We'll see how well it sticks around. Either way, I enjoyed it. I'm glad to see that this person's continuing to make more incrementals, and I hope they churn out a few more. So, let's see what they do in the future. Anyway, that's all I have to say. If you like the video, click like and subscribe. Otherwise, complain at me in the bottom in the comments, because that still helps. Have a good night, and remember, if I can beat it, so can you.